This is Residence 104.4 FM. As always, flipping marvellous. How you doing? My name's Nick Hennegan. Heck yeah, I just got back from US of. Sure did. For another slice of literary London, where we talk about, well, not much about London this time, I have to say. Because, yes, I've just got back from Kansas City, Missouri. You have to know the difference, by the way, between Kansas City, Missouri and Kansas City, Kansas. I won't spend too much time explaining it to you now. But yes, with the first ever Kansas City, not London, literary pub crawl, which was great fun. We were at a theatre called The Black Box. Yeah, it wasn't actually a tour, it was in a theatre near a place called, I think it was the North Bottoms, which, of course, as an Englishman, made me titter no end. Oh, the bottom. But yes, it was a lovely time with the standard Kansas. I'll get the name of the company that took me over there in a minute. The lovely Bob. And I have to say as well, it's kind of crazy. You know, we hear all this stuff about politics and presidents and people and things going wrong. And the bottom line was, I couldn't have had a nicer bunch of people to be with. The Americans were so kind. I mean, perhaps someone did say, it's your accent. And of course I said, well, I haven't got an accent. Good Lord. Pod myself. But they were incredibly nice. And I remember, I haven't been to America for a long time, actually. I think, in fact, the last time I went, I didn't have a smartphone. That's how long ago it was. Was it last century? I don't know. Might have been. But I do have to say, I suppose once you cut through all the politics, all the stuff we see online and in the media, people are basically just people, aren't they? You get some good uns, you get some bad uns, but most of us are good uns. And yes, I was struck again by how lovely the American people were while I was over in Kansas City. It was a bit of a schlep to get there. There's no direct flight from London Heathrow. So we went into, where did we go into? Chicago O'Hare, which is massive. I missed my flight because the one flight was a little bit late arriving. I won't bore you with all that anyway. On the way back home, though, I went through Denver, Colorado, which is in the wrong direction from Kansas. You see, if you're flying from Kansas, take a right and you end up over the Atlantic. Take a left and you end up in Denver, Colorado. But it was lovely, the Mile High City. And one of the reasons that I'm kind of excited about having been to America is I've only got a week or so. This is the penultimate show in this season, by the way. Yeah, next week's the last show. Although I shall be on bohemianbritain.com throughout August because I'm off to the Edinburgh Festival Fringe again. For 33 years ago, we worked out it was my first Edinburgh Fringe. It's changed. I often say that. Everyone said that. In 1992, when I first went, people were going, the Fringe isn't what it used to be. But then you see, that's my point. Nostalgia. Nostalgia's not what it used to be, is it? No, it's not. So I'm off to Edinburgh. I should be talking to lots of people and writers and performers during the Edinburgh Fringe. So either keep in touch with me here, or if you are going to Edinburgh, then do drop me a line. Either radio@mavericktheatre.co.uk, or probably better now, Nick, N-I-C-K, Nick@bohemianbritain.com. Nick@bohemianbritain.com. And if you're up in Edinburgh, let me know. We can meet up. I'm going to be doing the second Edinburgh brackets, not London, literary pub crawl. Edinburgh was the first ever UNESCO City of Literature. That's why, it's railway stations named after a famous book, isn't it? Waverley. It's going to be exciting and interesting. I know what I'm doing this time, which I didn't last year. I was making it up as I was going along. We were there for the whole month of August. I think the first literary pub crawl I did last year lasted nearly 3 hours. It was scheduled for an hour. And of course, if you know Edinburgh, people are so tightly scheduled. So anyway, I managed to get it down to an hour. This time we're doing an hour and a half, so we'll have time for a couple of wets afterwards. So if you fancy, finding out about the literary life of Edinburgh, I've been in America too long, then do join me. So you can drop me a line at Nick, N-I-C-K, at bohemianbritain.com, Nick@bohemianbritain.com. And particularly if you've got a show up there, we could come and have a chat and I can put you on Bohemian Britain and then probably put you on here on Residence FM on Literary London once we return in September. And talking of Americans, what birthday are we going to celebrate? We're going to celebrate a birthday this week. And possibly one of the greatest American writers is Ernest Hemingway, born on the 21st of July, 1899. He passed away on the 2nd of July 1961, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But he's also relevant in that he spent a couple of years of his life at Kansas City, Missouri, which is where I've just come from. And his first job was as a reporter on the local newspaper. I think it was the Kansas City Star, partly because his brother knew the editor, and his father, keep up now, didn't want Ernest going to war. Well, of course, Ernest Hemingway has kind of written lots about war, and I thought we'd celebrate some of his moments. I've got some recordings, some fairly rare recordings of Ernest Hemingway, and of course, he was known for his economical style, which strongly influenced 20th century fiction. He also won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1954. He published 7 novels, 6 short story collections, 2 non-fiction works, and of course the author of The Sun Also Rises, A Farewell to Arms, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and The Old Man and the Sea. But I managed to find this. This is nothing more and nothing less, but quite excitingly, when he won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1954, Ernest Hemingway gave a speech. And guess what? This is it.
No writer who knows the great writers who did not receive the prize can accept it other than with humility. There is no need to list these writers. Everyone here may make his own list according to his knowledge and his conscience. It would be impossible for me to ask the ambassador of my country to read a speech in which a writer said all of the things which are in his heart. Things may not be immediately discernible in what a man writes, and in this sometimes he is fortunate. But eventually they are quite clear, and by these and the degree of alchemy that he possesses, he will endure or be forgotten. Writing at its best is a lonely life. Organizations for writers palliate the writer's loneliness, but I doubt if they improve his writing. He grows in public stature as he sheds his loneliness, and often his work deteriorates. For he does his work alone, and if he is a good enough writer, he must face eternity, or the lack of it, each day. For a true writer, each book should be a new beginning where he tries again for something that is beyond attainment. He should always try for something that has never been done or that others have tried and failed. Then sometimes, with good luck, he will succeed. How simple the writing of literature would be if it were only necessary to write in another way what has been well written. It is because we have had such great writers in the past that a writer is driven far out past where he can go, out to where no one can help him. I have spoken too long for a writer. A writer should write what he has to say and not speak it. Again, I thank you.
Brilliant. I mean, if you're a writer, that's Papa Hemingway talking to you about writing, or talking to everyone. When that was his Nobel Speech Prize from 1954. I've got a bit more which I might share with you here on Resonance 104.4 FM, also on bohemianbritain.com. I'm Nick Hennegan. This is Literary London. And it's quite fascinating. I've got a couple of things I shall share. The audio's not that great, but it is Papa Hemingway himself. This is Ernest Hemingway talking about the 5th column.
This is Ernest Hemingway. The 5th column was written in the fall and early winter of 1937 while we were expecting an offensive. There were 3 major offensive projects for the Army of the Center that year. One of them was Brunetti. It had been fought, had started brilliantly, and ended in a very bloody and undecisive battle, and we were waiting for the first of the other 2. They never came, but while we waited, I wrote the play. Each day we were shelled by the guns beyond Leganés and behind the folds of Garabitas Hill. And while I was writing the play, the Hotel Florida, where we lived and worked, was struck by more than 30 high explosive shells. So if it is not a good play, Perhaps that is what is the matter with it. If it is a good play, perhaps those 30-some shells helped write it. When you went to the front, at its closest it was 1,500 yards from the hotel, the play was always slipped inside the inner fold of a rolled-up mattress. When you came back and found the room and the play intact, you were always pleased. It was finished and copied and sent out of the country just before the taking of Teruel. The title refers to the Spanish statement in the fall of 1936 that they had 4 columns advancing on Madrid and a 5th column of sympathizers inside the city to attack the defenders of the city from the rear. If many of the 5th column are now dead, it must be realized that they were killed in a warfare where they were as dangerous and as determined as any of those who died in the other 4 columns. The 4 columns advancing on Madrid shot their prisoners. When members of the 5th column were captured inside the city in the early days of the war, they were also shot. Later, they were to be tried and given prison or labor camp sentences or sentenced to execution, depending upon the crimes they had committed against the Republic. But in the early days, they were shot. They deserved to be under the rules of war, and they expected to be. Some fanatical defenders of the Spanish Republic, and fanatics do not make good friends for a cause, will criticize the play because it admits that 5th column members were shot. They will also say, and have said, that it does not present the nobility and dignity of the cause of the Spanish people. It does not attempt to. It will take many plays and novels to do that, and the best ones will be written after the war is over. This is only a play about counter-espionage in Madrid. It has the defects of having been written in wartime, and if it has a moral, it is that people who work for certain organizations have very little time for home life. There is a girl in it named Dorothy, but her name might also have been Nostalgia. Perhaps it would be best now for you to see it and for me to stop talking about it. But if being written under fire makes for defects, it may also give a certain vitality. You who see it will have a better perspective on this than I have. About the stories, there is not much to say. The first 4 are the last ones I have written. The others follow in the order in which they were originally published. The first one I wrote was up in Michigan, written in Paris in 1921. The last was Old Man at the Bridge, cabled from Barcelona in April of 1938. Beside the 5th column, I wrote The Killers, Today is Friday, 10 Indians, Part of the Sun Also Rises, and the first third of To Have and Have Not in Madrid. It was always a good place for working. So was Paris, and so were Key West, Florida in the cool months, the ranch near Cook City, Montana, Kansas City, Chicago, Toronto, and Havana, Cuba. Some other places were not so good, but maybe we were not so good when we were in them.
Fascinating stuff, isn't it? The 5th column. We're celebrating the birthday of none other than Ernest Hemingway, Papa Hemingway, born on the 21st of July 1899, passed away 2nd of July 1961, and we know why. And if you don't, stick around and we'll find out. There's a few quotes I quite like here, though, from Ernest Hemingway. One cat just leads to another, he said. There you go. Another quote from Hemingway: we are all apprentices in a craft where no one ever becomes a master. I quite like this one as well. You know what makes a good loser? Practice. And this one, these last couple actually. Once writing has become your major vice and greatest pleasure, only death can stop it. And this is quite interesting as well. Never use slang except in dialogue, and then only when unavoidable, because all slang goes sour in a short time. I only use swear words, for example, that have lasted at least 1,000 years for fear of getting stuff that will be simply timely and then go sour. And also, quite prophetically, he also, quote, said, "You can't get away from yourself by moving from one place to another." Yeah, Ernest Hemingway. I'm tuned to this because I just got back from Kansas City, where he was a young reporter. And I thought I'll play you this. Again, the sound's not brilliant, but it's the man himself talking. This is his second poem to Mary.
Now sleeps he with that old whore Death, who yesterday denied her thrice. Repeat after me. Now sleeps he with that old whore Death, who yesterday denied her thrice. Pause. Wait for them to close up. Continue. Did you deny her? Yes. Thrice? Yes. Repeat after me. Do you take this old whore Death for thy lawful wedded wife? Repeat after me. I do, I do, I do. KIA 60FF 61 EM 13th September 2400 14th September 2400. Translate. Killed in action 6 officers, 61 enlisted men from midnight 13th September to midnight 14th September. Repeat after me 67 times. I do, I do, I do. 67 times. Continue. It is continued. In the next war, we shall bury the dead in cellophane. In the next war, we shall bury the dead in cellophane. The host shall come packaged in every K-ration. The host shall come packaged in every K-ration. Every man shall be provided with a small but perfect Archbishop Spellman, which shall be self-inflatable, courtesy of air reduction, open, closed, previous, open, closed. You don't need to repeat this. There is not any ceremony anymore. Everyone is gone, and you say this out loud to yourself. You are alone at the time, and the time now is always. Always was a word you used in promises. It is valueless. All officers, warrant officers, and enlisted men will be provided with a copy of their own true loves that they will never see again, and all these copies will be returnable through the proper channels. My own true love is Mary Welsh. Then, of course, she will be returnable. But I, on this day, will not accept the signature of Archbishop Spellman, nor of you, nor of you, nor of you. You may all go now, all of you. Go as quietly as possible. Go as far as possible. You may even take possible with you if you can find him, and you may hang him or dispose of him in any manner that you see fit. Today, no one uses slang because clarity is of the utmost importance. Fucking alone is retained, but it is used only as an adjective. Sweating out is retained. It means that which one must suffer without any possibility of changing the result or the outcome. Those of us who know walk very slowly, and we look at one another with infinite love and compassion. This comes only after 100 days and is one of the final symptoms. There has been irritation, anger, fear, doubt, accusations, denials, misinterpretations, mistakes, cowardice, inability, and lack of talent for this work. All this has been and will be again to be counterbalanced by firmness, steadiness, courage, quick understanding, and the ability both to maneuver and to fight. But now, for a moment, there's only love and compassion. Know how to endure, and only love and compassion. Repeat it. Only love and compassion. For the FB's 2, battle fatigues, officers, men, midnight, 13th Sep. We don't give any numbers. Midnight, 14th Sep. No. Then it is not compassion. Not for the battle fatigues 2. And yes, it is love and compassion. How can you say that here? How can you say the other? Not that we ask for more, not that we wish ever any, not that we wish any all, not that we want any greater, but when they walked away from that undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns who hasn't been there, they walked away from this we cannot state, and in them died this inner knowing that grows, fresher and lovelier than any rose, manured by death and watered only with unshed tears, until this day it flowers into this love and this compassion. Not for them, no, I am sorry. Then it is not complete, no, nor will it be ever. There is no contrition, no bloody fucking contrition, only love and compassion. Reach out your hand to love's dark sister hate, and walk with her across that hill we slowly walked, and see if love is waiting at the top, or who is waiting there instead. Did I tell you my heart is a target of opportunity? Love's lovely sister, lovingly unloving, unworryingly succeeding, procuring unprocuringly, never wholly wrong, nor more than half right, holding unholdingly to hold where love leaves easily without address, love lightly leaves without a trace, and her dark sister fills in all the forms, all the forms so neatly filled, the writing clear and good, where love's is often quite illegible, scrawled lightly in a hurry as she smiled, giving unimportance to the page. Do you think there upon the hill we'll find her there? No, she's long gone. She never stands to fight. Knowing too well the idiocy of battle, love's always gone, leaving us only the deserted sacrament, as one finds dinner on the table in the house of a new-taken village, so that we wear it now. Traces of it are worn on our chins, like remnants of the yolk of the rare and much-desired egg, our scooped-up, newly eaten sacrament, bringing it with our newly issued pictures of our true loves up toward the high ground beyond the town, toward the easy dirt-mouthed smile we had denied so many days, D+108. Now all move slowly plodding up that hill, making feet slowly go where they know better than to take you. Feet are wise and feet are wary, feet of John and feet of Harry. Feet know better, feet won't go. Make feet move on slowly now, make feet follow where no plow leads you ahead, where things are sown, toward the place where you'll be dead. Return her now through the prescribed channels. Return her. This will aid you. Song to aid you to return her. What they will do to others, they will do to you. If you never suffer, God will see you through. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching to a whore, with the cross of Mary Welsh going on before. Throw your love away. You must do it slowly now and pray. Pray to all of nothing, pray to all of nil. Throw away your own true love, walking up a hill. Repeat it now again. Now sleeps he with that old whore Death, who yesterday denied her thrice. If you know, if you conceive, if you too, if, not the poem that was given you framed for Christmas in Oak Park, Illinois, written by Rudyard Kipling, but the other if, older than the if of Hamlet, the old, long, ugly if that we have faced in all the nights and all the forests of our hearts, always coming out into a clearing, always sighting finally the smoke of the campfire. Now on this wooded hill again, ifingly to proceed. If me no ifs, my true love, while we expend that which is not expendable, while we destroy that which is indestructible, with nothing more than harassing fire. Nothing more than that. All my heart is a target of opportunity. All of us have been interdicted. This is not the way it was. I have not been there. No one was there. No one saw it. Your guess is as good as mine. Make a guess now while it is easy. Get your guess in early. Try and get your guess in for tonight, especially for tonight. Tonight, and there are only 89 days more until Christmas. Put in Christmas. All of us will die today. Hail to Father Christmas. Old and young together say, Hail to Father Christmas. Bright the colored flax spits shine. Hail to Father Christmas. Bright today our love divine. Hail to Father Christmas. D plus 10109. Hail to Father Christmas. Christmas minus 99. Hail to Father Christmas. Come, let's put it on the line. Hail to Father Christmas. No longer Christmas, and from this hill, there topped, its flanks covered with Christmas trees, many further hills are seen. So, Mary, now I love you straight and true, and send you this to let you know that we had a rather sticky day today in the forest. Casualties were fairly heavy, and a certain amount of battle fatigue, many more than there should be, but there are many contributing factors. I'm getting sort of mixed up on a lot of things again, but much clearer on others. Very hard to write about this stuff. It is different from the boat. In the boat we were always waiting for it. Here it is the happening all the time, and who it happens to. I do not think about me at all anymore, bragging again. I think about you, and that brings me in. I write you awfully dull letters, darling, because I get tired and sort of emptied out. And all I have to tell you that I can write is that I love you.
Fascinating. Ernest Hemingway and Second Poem to Mary. Celebrating his birthday, born 21st of July 1899. He was, of course, fascinated by war. He spent some time in London. He was, in fact, drinking at the Dove Pub, one of my locals in Hammersmith. And, of course, he rather sadly took his own life in Idaho in 1961 after some bad health. And that's all we've got time for, but thank you very much for your company. If you want to get in touch, please do. nick@bohemianbritain.com. I'll see you next time. Thanks very much for your company. I'm Nick Hennegan. This is Literary London on Resonance 104.4 FM.